Welcome back to the Seven Deadly Sins anime review, episode 2. This one I'm reviewing the miniseries The Seven Deadly Sins Signs of Holy War. Yeah, these 4 episodes are filler with the exception of the 2 post-credit scenes seen in the last 2 episodes. The first episode is roughly put something that takes place like not long after they concluded the whole infiltration stuff. Yeah. It is simply put. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, it is a. Now, each one of these episodes are standalone. They're very little connected. Yeah. In the case of episode 1, it's like some kind of setup. It's basically it's focusing episode on Elizabeth and Meliodas, and it's a pretty interesting episode, though the episode does have this really neat thing of bringing back the horn that was seen during the Kingdom Infiltration arc. This is the Horn of Camarlus. Yeah, they actually bring this back, even though after it was seen like one time, both of them in both the manga and the anime, the horn never appeared ever again, as far as I know, anyways, because I haven't read anything beyond chapter 179 yet. Now, in the case of this, they brought it back, and because they do set up at the end about Melios and Bond basically settling their bad blood in the next episode. Yeah, and he goes to the horn that Bond goes to, and he destroys it. Yep, he destroys it. I gotta say, the animators doing this, I don't have a really big problem with that at all because it's never featured afterwards after the infiltration arc, so it kind of makes sense the fact that this particular anime gets rid of that. Okay, episode 2 it's kind of like a follow up to the whole Fight Grand Festival thing, which happened during the course of episodes 9 to 13, just kind of a mild recreation of that, except having multiple fights. It's only 2 fights. One between Bond and Meliodas in a gigantic cube, which Merlin uses. Now, they can't do. Now, according to Seven Deadly Sins guidelines, which apparently Meliodas came up with, there can't be any fights there between the sins themselves. They can, however, settle in a fist fight via this cube, and Merlin puts it up. The other fight is a pretty quick fight between Hauser and King. And these two fight over the affections of Diane. It's a really interesting episode, and it does kind of tie up a loose end from the Kingdom of Infiltration because if you read the manga, it seems like they were going to do something about this, like have a big fight, but it never happens. Not at all. The third episode is a focus on King and Diane just wandering around the city and her helping construction workers rebuild the city after what happened with Henderson and his stuff that he did during the Kingdom Infiltration arc. It's a good episode, and it definitely does show that she does have feelings for King, but King kind of does forget, basically, her kissing him on the cheek, basically confirming that she does have feelings for him. Like, she asked him, like, after he caught her, just ask her a question like, do you remember? Do you regain memories? And apparently she does, and then he gets hit in the head. Yeah, I honestly don't know why in the world the anime stuff gave for some amnesia for that one day. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to spoil stuff with the manga. Though the ending does set up the fact that Henderson does survive what happened in the Kingdom of Infiltration, which does happen in the manga. Mostly put, the ending of this episode, episode 3, and episode 4 are pulled directly from the manga, roughly about 4 or 5 pages. In the case of this one, this pulls from chapter 108. Yeah, I think it's just from what I can tell, just the opening like few pages. And next episode, it's a combine of the opening few pages of both chapter 107, 109, which has the king having most of the 7 deadly sins in his throne room, basically teasing what's going to happen next. Their battle with the 10 commandments. No, it's not the action commandments in the Bible. These are a group of demons. Yep. Teasing this particular arc, which is still going on in the manga right now. starting with chapter 110. That's where this starts with. And it's still going to go into this very day. Episode 4 does well, let's just say, give backstory to something that's revealed a little bit later. That Vivian has got a cursed ring on her finger where she's basically subservient to Gilthunder. And this episode kind of explains the reasoning for that, because in the manga, she just has it completely random. And here they actually bothered to explain why, because she tried to make Gilthunder fall in love with her, because she's in love with him. Oh yeah, and also when she's first introduced, she wears this weird helmet, and then she takes off. I'm like, wow, woman, why the heck would you wear that ugly helmet? You're a gorgeous woman. Why would you wear that helmet for? She's a redhead and she's drop dead gorgeous. And yet Gilthunder is in love with a woman who's got silver hair. Yeah, he's in love with a princess. One of 3 people in the whole series who's in love with a princess. The other, of course, is a couple other knights from the series. The others are, if I can find their names here, it is Grimoire. Yeah, Grimoire, it's implied he's in love with Vivian. Yeah, he was introduced during the whole fight arc with Vivian, and he actually does play a small role in the first episode and this one. Oh yeah, and also first episode, it's just the 7 deadly sins and Gilthunder, Hauser, and Gilmore chasing Hawk for an entire episode. Yep. Yeah. Despite its ending, which is really good, most of the episode was completely pointless. Yeah. But yeah, and the whole thing with the cursed ring, Gilthunder says a particular word if she ever harms him, and she gets like a special curse that right now it covers her hand, so she's afraid to do anything to him directly. Though there might be a loophole that she might have other people do stuff to him, but yeah, basically what Merlin did to her is that she made her Gilthunder's servant. Yeah, or at least a submissive to him. But it's not exactly explained. Also, the reason why this happened is because during the course of the episode, of course, Vivian's behind everything anyways. Merlin expects something to happen to Gilthunder, of course, is Vivian. And Melnios agrees to do this in exchange for her becoming a waitress at his tavern. Which she does. For about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes wearing the uniform, she's like, nope, I quit. Yeah, because they wanted to sing. And her in the uniform, well, the uniform itself is the same clothes Elizabeth wears. Heck, Deanne gets a chance to wear this time and time again. She used to wear it in the previous episode. I should also point out, though, during all these 4 episodes, she never goes giant size at all. She stays basically human size the whole time. It takes her a while to go back to giant size. Yeah. And overall, 4 really good episodes for what this was. And apparently this originally aired on Netflix. Yeah. And yes, this thing was dubbed. But the current season has not been dubbed yet. And yet, Funimation, who does dubbing for this one, from what I know about it, they have My Hero Academia dubbed for pretty much the entire series. Excuse me, they're up to date with Tokyo Re. And yet they're not up to date with this particular series. I don't get why. What are they waiting for? Are they waiting for the season to end? I've heard this particular season is only going to last for 24 episodes. Yeah, this is what I've heard, but so far it's only covered 65 chapters. But I'll give more of my thoughts on the current season when I get up to it. Alright, so overall, really good miniseries. I gotta praise the animators for actually doing this, because my guess is the reason why they waited 2 years to resume this series, and this is just my theory, because they cut up with the manga and they wanted to give the animators a break after doing 24 episodes. Okay, fine. And having it end where it did, well, the original's first season did, it was a good place to take a break for it, and coming back 2 years later, good idea. Now, if you think of a lot of anime, usually they keep the anime going by having a bunch of filler. Yeah, my guess is that some things in Japan are changing, where the animators for some of these anime are actually allowed to take breaks for long-running anime. I mean, look at series like, let's say, now this series started roughly anime-wise. The first season started in 2015. And so it's only gone on for a few short years. And overall, minus TV special, this series is roughly aired for about, I think it's almost 20 episodes. I think it's like 42. Yeah, 42 episodes in 3 years. Normally, if the series aired for an entire year, let's say if it did do that, it would have had over, if they didn't take a break or at least restart numbering for things, it probably would have close to 100 episodes by now, but yeah, it's like close to 50 right now, which, if you look, let's say, Attack on Titan, it's the same way. They take breaks because that series is monthly, and at least it gives time for the animators to take a break, plus for more chapters to come out so they can adapt it. It seems like for Seven Deadly Sins and My Hero Academia, they had the same type of formula they do with Attack on Titan. Release a certain episodes for a certain season, then give the series a break so people can, relax and just breathe it in, and allow the manga to progress forward while doing more stuff. I take about a year or two off, and then coming back. Yep. But at least the series does make money due to release on DVD and Blu-ray. Yep. That's how mainly the anime itself makes money, is through that. Which I'm sure that's how the animators are getting paid. Well, how the studio makes money off the series. And plus also the commercial breaks they probably air whenever this thing airs in Japan. Yeah. But otherwise though, good set of episodes. Next episode, episode 3, is going to cover the current season of the series. Basically all 18 episodes plus episode 0. 4, I'm going to cover the 2 OVAs, and starting episode 5, it's going to be the series itself. Like new episodes when they come out. Excuse me. Am I going to, review new chapters of the manga whenever it does come out? And honestly, I probably will after I catch up the series. Yes, after I catch up the series, then I will catch up with it. I should point out though, there's at least several characters who appeared in the original season who actually do not make appearances in this whole entire season. I mean, yeah, you have Vivian, Gale Thunder, Gilmore, and Hauser outside the Seven Deadly Sins, Elizabeth and Hawk, and of course the King himself. The only characters that don't are Gilla and Jericho. Yeah, these two are really interesting characters, and yet they don't show up at all. There is no reason for their absence. Also, I forgot to mention, Gothar gets a subplot in here of having a little boy and his father moving out of town because, I think the father doesn't make enough money, so he wants to move back to his own hometown, and plus also his wife passed away. So doesn't want to deal with painful stuff there. But then with stuff like love, yeah, because the whole episode is called Shape of Love. Yeah, these are the names of the 4 episodes that aired. You have The Dark Dream Begins, Our Fight Festival, In Pursuit of Love, and The Shape of Love. Yeah. But mostly put, these are good filler episodes. I kind of wish it was a little bit more, like to possibly stretch out the time until they catch up with the actual series, but I guess 4 episodes is enough for this particular series overall. I guess so, because I'm looking at the release date for this thing. Apparently, these 4 episodes aired over the course of an entire month. Yeah. Like, the first episode, August 28th, 2016, and the final episode aired September 18th, 2016. The first episode aired roughly about, I think it was, I'd say about 4 months after they finished airing the series. So I guess that's when they start releasing it then. They probably released a dub of the thing pretty much the same time they released a dub for the first season. Now, my honest question is, why in the world Funimation hasn't started dubbing this current season yet? Yeah, that's a really good question. As far as I know, they're the ones in charge of the dubbing. Yeah, they are, as far as I know. I think they are. Let's see. Yeah, it's uh for home video, it's Funimation. And I'm curious though, why in the world is well, apparently it's airing on Netflix, which is fine. But here's an honest question. Okay, apparently it's gonna be a film coming out this August, but I do have an honest question about Funimation. Why haven't they started dubbing this current season yet? Or at least they haven't released dub episodes yet? Yeah, that's a really good question. Because normally they release it by now, but I guess not. I've looked on their site, and apparently they only just have the first season. Yeah, apparently this is something that's really weird about the Funimation site. Now, they do have they do have pretty much the entire first season of My Hero Academia on there. The second season they have a handful of episodes, and the current season they have the first like few or 4 or 5, but usually wait like a week or two before they release it for people who are not subscribed. But as for Seven Deadly Sins, there are no episodes on there at all. Like none of the series is on there. I don't know why. Now, those of you wondering what site I use, now this is a perfectly legal site. It's WatchCartoonOnline.0. That's how I watch these particular series. The first one I did this for was Fairy Tail, and I've been watching this site since then. It's a good site to use. I do recommend it for finding a particular series. Oh yeah, and it's perfectly legal for this particular series to air it for free. But yeah, not much else to say. But yeah, I know I gotta stretch it out to nearly 20 minutes to talk about a 4 episode miniseries. Yeah, but that's it for this video. Stay tuned for tomorrow for more videos, where I currently have about 4 comic corners right now to do, maybe more. Right now it's 4. As for the current season, I probably will probably do a review that either, this is my personal guess, probably Monday. Yes, probably Monday or probably maybe Tuesday. Just depends how long it takes me to finish, okay? But until I see you all in the next episode, next video, bye.